Yeah.
Okay.
So, what was the plane that you flew in like?
I flew in a B-17, and that was the plane most used for bombing missions. It had a crew of 10 airmen, a pilot, co-pilot, navigator, who told the pilot which way to fly, the bombardier, who operated the bomb site to accurately drop the bombs on the target, and then the rest of them were gunners who manned the guns on the fortress. It was called a flying fortress because it had 10 50 caliber machine guns, high-powered machine guns, mounted on the plane so that they could fire off at the German fighter planes.
Well, you just answered the next two questions, which were how many crew members and what were the other roles.
And it
So-
was a radio man too,
Alright.
and a flight engineer.
Alright, so how did the bombardier know when to drop the bomb?
Well, it's a complicated question because you can't always use the same techniques. You have to be able to see the target, and then once you see the target, you have a thing called a bomb sight. And the bomb sight was invented by Norden. It was called the Norden bomb sight. And it had a gyroscope that stabilized the bomb sight platform so that this wasn't rocking with the plane, because if the plane was rocking, you couldn't keep your target, the crosshairs on the target.
Alright.
So by stabilizing them with gyros, you had a stable platform to look through. And you lined up the crosshairs on the target, then you adjusted the rate at which, as you get closer to the plane, the angles change, right? As you get closer to the target, the angles change from very wide to very shallow. So in order to adjust for that, you had a knob on the side of the bomb sight where you could adjust the rate so that you kept the crosshairs right on the target. So the crosshairs were tracking the target while the plane was moving, and as soon as it became time, pre-existing time, which you calculated based on the height of the plane and what kind of bombs you were dropping. At a predetermined time, the bombardier would say bombs away and push a button, and the bomb bay doors would open and the bombs would drop down. That's when he could see the target. But most of the times in Germany, you could not see the target because it was overcast with clouds. So then we used radar. And they invented a new category of airmen called the Mickey Navigator. Mickey Navigator. It's called Mickey because it stood for MK95. MK95, Mickey Navigator.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, and that was me. That was my job. I started out as a bombardier, but I got trained when I was over there to operate the radar. So I was a Mickey navigator. What I had to do is when it was cloudy on the ground and we couldn't see anything, I had to navigate the plane, tell the pilot which way to fly to get to the target. When we got there, then I had to look through the radar and find the target and drop it. Then I took over control of the bomb site from my position in the back of the airplane, and we dropped the bombs by radar.
Alright. Did you have to load the bombs before taking off, or was there someone else?
No, there was a ground crew that did that.
Alright. As a navigator, how did you determine the direction for the plane to fly?
There are a lot of methods. There's celestial navigation. If you're at night and you can't see anything, but you can see the stars, You use the position of the stars to determine the direction to fly. And you had a thing called a sextant, which would measure the angles of the stars as you're flying. And then from that you could determine what air direction to have the airplane fly. You could use dead reckoning, where you keep track of your status by whenever you could see something on the ground, you mark that position on a map, then you plot directions to fly from that point on. And by knowing the speed and angle that you're flying at, you could determine where your next point was going to checkpoint was going to be, and then you would notice that checkpoint and then proceed to the next one, and so on. So it was a step-by-step progression. That was called dead reckoning. And we had a hand calculator. It was an E6B, which allowed us to put in all the parameters: ground speed, airspeed, wind speed, and air resistance, to determine how long it was going to take between checkpoints, so we could accurately predict.
So, what countries did you visit during the war?
Did I visit or bomb?
I guess both, because the
Okay.
next question was which country did you fly missions to, so I guess answer both.
I visited Morocco in North Africa,
Alright.
Tunisia in North Africa,
Okay.
Italy, and that's it. Yeah.
Alright. That's it. What countries did you bomb?
At the beginning, when Italy was still being run by Mussolini, he was still in control, and they were still fighting against us, we bombed northern Italy. We bombed a lot of the Balkans, Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, Bulgaria, and Hungary. You know, those were all the places where the Germans got their oil. They had oil refineries there, so we bombed the oil refineries until they couldn't operate it anymore. And we bombed Austria, bombed Germany, France, the Rhineland, and what else? I guess that's it.
That's it. Other questions are done.
Yeah.